Hello friends. Welcome to our channel Tech Explained. In this video we are going to talk about the review of Huawei MediaPad M5. So be tuned and let's start. The tablet industry has been in a lull for the past couple of years. Apart from, there's been very little in the way of movement, particularly those based on Google's Android operating system. But just when you thought the Android tablet market might be completely dead, models. There's a small 8.4-inch model, as reviewed here, no prizes for guessing which Apple products the company is directly competing with here. Design: champagne gold and titanium gray finishes available. Metal unibody design, U-shaped antenna bands. Wi-Fi and LTE, 4G connectivity. Harman Kardon speakers. One of the great things about the MediaPad M5 is its size. Thanks to having an 8.4-inch display and relatively little in the way of screen bezel up the left and right side, Huawei has managed to make the M5 compact enough for one-handed holding and easily slipping it into a coat pocket or bag when you're done. The MediaPad M5's back is made entirely from a thin sheet of anodized aluminum, in this case, a rather gaudy gold, which curves towards the edges and corners. As the tablet has 4G LTE support as standard for on-the-go browsing and connectivity, that also means there are antenna bands which show in the metal's bottom edge just as you'll find in most smartphones these days. Looking front on at the tablet in portrait orientation, you'll see a form which looks very much like a giant smartphone. There's a pill-shaped fingerprint scanner on the bottom, too, which doubles as a navigation key, if you want. This sensor unlocks the device within the blink of an eye, which helps you know that, although small, this is one serious tablet. One unusual visual element is the row of machined holes that runs across the tablet's top edge, where the stereo loudspeakers, tuned with the help of Harman Kardon, are tucked away. These do genuinely improve the audio experience for media, however, we did find the speakers a tiny bit tinny and treble heavy. That means the M5 performs well for dialogue in movies and TV shows, but not so much when it comes to impressive special effects or great soundtracks. Display: 8.4-inch LCD IPS panel. 2560 by 1600 resolution, 359 pixels per inch. One of the most pleasing elements about this tablet is its display. The aspect ratio is unusual, at 16:10, but that does ensure that it's not just good for watching TV shows and movies on, it's also wide enough in portrait mode to be a good ebook reader. With its 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution, this 8.4-inch display is super crisp, while offering lovely clean whites, vibrant colors and, considering it's an LCD panel, great contrast. The display is perhaps a little cool by default, but with Huawei that's not really an issue. As has become customary for Huawei's Android devices, there's an option within the display settings to adapt the color temperature of the display so that it suits you. There's also an eye comfort option that you can toggle on or off to filter out blue light, making it more yellow, warm for nighttime reading. Software: Google Android 8.0 Oreo operating system, running Huawei EMUI 8.0. 4G, LTE cellular model has phone dialer, SMS. Although Huawei uses Google's Android operating system as its backbone, it reskins it with its own EMUI software over the top. This has split opinions in the past, but with each iteration of EMUI we think it's improving. For the most part, the software is identical to the software you'll find on all of the latest Huawei smartphones, except elements are expanded to better fit a larger display. If you're used to Huawei phones, you'll notice a few subtle differences. As an example, the main settings menu now has a dual-panel view permanently, whether in landscape or portrait mode, so you can always see which main setting you're currently in. It's mostly clean and colorful by default, which is great, but like so many Android tablets it's loaded with tons of bloatware out of the box. There's the dialer, contacts, messaging, themes, files, notepad and calendar, which you might expect and want to have. Performance: Silicon Kirin 960 processor. 4GB RAM, 32/64, 128GB storage. We're used to Android tablets stuttering and faltering, but inside this Huawei tablet you'll find an octa-core Kirin 960S, which is essentially a tweaked version of the chip that. The performance is therefore just as a high-end tablet should be. Each game, whether it be Injustice 2, Hitman Sniper or less intense games, loaded without any complaining or noticeable delay. It's not without its foibles, though. Each time when rotating from landscape to portrait orientation on the home screen, the bottom third of the screen's wallpaper would go black for a split second, before loading the rest of the background. So there are some software bugs to iron out yet. Battery: 5100 mAh battery capacity. USB-C for fast charging. Huawei's latest MediaPad has incredible standby time, which is useful in a device you don't pick up every 5 minutes and might even leave for days between uses. We left it unused for 3 days, and it had only dropped 13% battery life in that time. For more intense use, after roughly an hour of the screen being on, playing games and streaming videos, the battery loses just over 15% of its capacity. During our testing, we found the tablet can last between 6.5 to 8 hours, depending on what it's used for. That's fairly good innings. Camera: 13MP rear camera, 8MP front camera, 1080p video recording. The M5 features a 13-megapixel camera on its back, which is, let's say, comfortably good enough in quality terms. Compared to high-end smartphones, however, the tablet's results lack detail, nor is it great at dealing with contrasting light conditions. Immediately after taking most pictures, the tablet takes a second or two to sharpen the image, requiring you to hold it steady. That means end results can be pretty sharp, although most of the time the image is spongy, colors are often washed out, and overexposure isn't uncommon. Yes, it's a tablet, and we don't like taking photos with tablets, but the M5's camera will serve those video calls and allow for the odd document photo. And that, ultimately, is where this feature will come in handy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.